Know that we are live. Instagram, you can go over here. Boom, live. And over here. Hello, welcome to the live, everyone. I'm just getting set up on my side. Just give me 1 sec. Okay, it's not working. Oh, well, welcome to the live, everyone. Thank you for joining. Vic O'Deal, thank you for joining. Welcome to the live. Do let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm just letting our community members know that we're live. Welcome to the live. I'm just letting our community members know that we're live. Sorry, I keep saying that, but boom. Okay, we're live. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining the live. So my name's Sean from Seller Smart, and I go live every single day to help you guys turn Amazon FBA into a full-time career, full-time income, whatever you want to call it. I've been selling since 2023. And the guys and I and the team, we're all 6- and 7-figure Amazon FBA sellers. We know all of the problems in the industry because we face them. And we built Seller Smart to act as an ecosystem so that you guys can get everything you need from us when you want to. So if you're brand new, just getting started, you can learn from us. If you are advanced, hitting plateaus, we can help you with that. If you give me 1 moment. Okay, there we go. Cool, yeah. We have an ecosystem, so we guys help you from beginner phase all the way through to busting through plateaus. We've got a prep center, VA recruitment, software, one-to-one mentorship. Witty, welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. You've been thinking about starting. That's really good. Yeah, a lot of people overanalyze and spend too much time in the learning phase. I think the best thing you can do is watch a few videos, maybe ask a few questions on this live. I can send you a free Amazon FBA course that you can go through that teaches you the fundamentals. And then the first thing you want to do is just try and find some products, try and make a sale. As soon as you make a sale and make some profit, you'll prove the concept to yourself, and you can decide if it's for you or not. It's Amazon's not for everyone, but if you can stick with it and you're consistent and you learn and you treat it as a skill to be developed, you can do really well with the business model. I've been doing it for 3 years now, I think it is, and the one-to-one coach in our mentorship, Sam, he's been doing it for 5. Reese and Carol about 3.5 years. Will your free course show me how to start? Yeah, absolutely. So, Witty, do you have Discord? Because if not, there's a link in our bio that takes you to Linktree. The Linktree will take you to the website or to our free Discord. You can download the free course from the website, or you can join the Discord. It's up to you. You do. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so check out our free Discord community. Scroll to the bottom. When you apply to join, you'll have to fill out a really quick form. Scroll to the bottom and just download the free course and start going through it. And then check out our YouTube channel and everything like that for sourcing and education and stuff. You'll download from the website. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Download it from the website, go through the course. All of the free resources are set up perfectly for beginners. So be sure, if you are going to get into Amazon, be sure to download all of them and give them a go. Finsley Donald 12, provide... Oh, I need to sneeze. Oh, no, I need to sneeze. Oh, I hate that when you need to sneeze and it won't come out. Provide above other providers. Sorry, I missed the other message. What puts the VAs you provide above other providers? Okay, welcome to the live, mate. Thank you for joining. That's a really good question. So, SellerSmart as a company, right? We're collectively, there's now 15 of us, but the core members are Cal, Reese, and myself, and we partner with Sam. Sam runs our mentorship. So you have three people's different perspectives, four people's different perspectives solving problems. Reese had a network of virtual assistants before we created SellerSmart, before we were a team and met, and he was actually hiring out VAs a few years ago now, doing really well with that. In RecruitSmart, we have a 95% failure rate of applicants that go through the first round. So we have a really strict criteria. You have to be able to prove your knowledge. You have to go through our training, go through our quizzes, go through our entire process. And we have a much lower swap out rate than other people in our industry. So I think the average swap out rate is 40 to 50%. I think ours is operating, we've got like a handful since we've been doing it, and that's in a few years. We have Reese, who is the lead in RecruitSmart. Reese was a project manager for Ford, very, very talented engineer. So he's developed really, really good background processes, automations, background processes, and he's developed a really good system that enables us to find the best candidates, critique them, make sure they're fully trained, train them if they don't pass. We don't just fob people off who don't pass. We upskill them, develop them, give them experience in the UK. And we have an incredible team of people, a team of women actually, who run the VA recruitment agency. We interview thousands of candidates, and we only have 5-star reviews from our service so far. We are very proud of the hard work the team puts into it. They do a really good job, and it's just one of the perks of being in the ecosystem. So SellerSmart's ecosystem, once you get something from us, if you download any of our free resources and you think they're good, then I hope that shows you the quality of the paid stuff we have. So if you come into the ecosystem, you might get a VA, you might join the prep center, you might sign up to the software that's going to be coming out soon. The software is looking insane lately, by the way. I'm very excited to get that to you guys. And overall, that's what sets us apart. We've got collective experience, years in the industry. We have Sam helping run the mentorship, so he's always a good person to advise into because he's incredibly detailed. Really great candidates. We have very positive reviews from the candidates who get involved in the process, and only 5-star reviews from the clients who get involved too, with a very low swap out rate. That's the key thing. Oh, Witty, what's your website? TikTok won't let me open the page. Okay, interesting. I'm not sure why that is. I can't send links in the chat, but if you go to sellersmart.io, so I'm going to type it in the chat, but I'm going to space it out just so I can send it. If you go to that website, it will take you to our main page. The links on it will go to individual landing pages. So we've got a mentorship page, we've got a VA recruitment page, but there's a section in the top right of the website that goes to the free resources. That's what you want to check out, and you can download all of them from there. Very good. Finley Donald, brilliant. Thank you, mate. No problem at all. Thank you for joining. I did, Finley, am I right in saying you sent a message? I think we haven't replied yet, right? Apologies if we're delayed on that. I usually reply to DMs pretty quickly, but my fiance and I realized last night that it was our 4-year anniversary and we'd been working all day. So we decided to call it a night at about 6 p.m. and go watch that new Ryan Gosling film at the cinema, which was pretty good. JB, yo, welcome to the live. Oh, Witty, perfect, mate. Very helpful, mate. No problem at all. Yeah, thank you for joining, mate. I'm going to give you a follow. We like to follow people that... Oh, we're already following. Okay, that's good. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any more questions. I just realised I've not checked the other chats that I'm up in. Snapfax, welcome, mate. Thank you for joining. I'm not sure if that's coming through, but... Okay, it is. Okay, we're all good. No, it's not coming through. Okay, that's tricky. I'm going to have to click around and make sure that I'm actually seeing all the questions that you guys are sending, because we are live in many different locations, not just TikTok. Are you guys having a good day, by the way? I forgot to ask that. I was being very rude. Have you all had a productive day? Managed to do any sourcing? Managed to find any good leads? That's weird. I'm actually on... okay, there it is. Okay, I found it. It's okay, guys. Managed to find any... but there's no questions regardless. Except for a ghosty face. Welcome to Snapfax. Thank you for the ghost emoji. Welcome. Right, let's get back to reality. So, just building my new furniture and supporting bruv, Kylie Minogue blasting. I was going to put on a really decent playlist, but because I'm live on YouTube, I can't because of the copyright. But it would be nice to get some music on these lives, I think. I'm going to refer to the notes I have for topics of conversation. Also, by the way, Kylie Minogue, what an absolute legend. Okay, here we go. We're all good. All right, so let's go through the, let's talk about the step-by-step process of when you're a new seller coming into Amazon FBA. So the first thing you need to do is you need to watch 2 to 4 hours of videos. Don't overanalyze, just learn what you need to learn and give it a try. Overanalysis typically leads people to not taking action. So I really want you guys to just take a plunge, try something and see if it works. The next thing you need to do is get Keeper and Seller Amp SaaS. You need them both. You need them both because they will give you a more accurate representation of what's happening on the listing than if you just use one or the other. You're going to buy your first product, you're going to give it a test, you're going to see if it sells, and you're going to try and make some profit. That's going to prove the concept to you. That's going to prove that this works. And then hopefully, once you've got the bug, once you've got that dopamine hit from the sales, you'll keep progressing forward. Your first order is going to be probably sent to your house or to a prep center if you're going down that route, but more likely sent to your house. You're going to put your own Amazon FBA SKU labels on them. So Amazon needs a way to identify your stock amongst other sellers. So your Amazon SKU label is going to go over the product's barcode. You're going to put them in a box. You're going to weigh the box. You're going to schedule a collection with UPS, and you're going to send your FBA shipment to Amazon's fulfillment centers through Amazon's partner carrier service with UPS. Typically speaking, depending on the location of the country you're in, for me, my stock tends to go live within 5 days. I'm in the southwest of the UK. For people up north, I've heard them say they go live the next day, but that's because there's fulfillment centers up north, and there's a really big one in Coventry. Once your stock goes live, because you're a new seller, you have no metrics or anything, it might take a little bit of time for Amazon to start giving you the buy box. But usually what we see is people making sales within a day or two. Or you can even skip that whole process and you can sell it from your house via FBM just to prove that it works. But in the beginning phase, I think it's a good idea for you to learn the process with FBA so you can understand how it works. You'll get your sales, you'll prove the concept, and the journey will begin. That's where you need to invest more time in learning how Amazon works properly. So you need to get good at sourcing, you need to get good at admin, you need to keep track of your leakage, and I say this all the time, you really need to focus on sourcing because it's a skill that requires time to develop. So if you can do those things, you'll be laughing, you'll be doing really well. Lloydie, hello, welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. I've not got TikTok open on my side. Jonas Alexandru. I lived with a Romanian in university who became one of my closest mates, and his name was Jonas, which I think is John as the English alternative. Welcome to the live. Thank you for the engagement. Appreciate you. Bro, are scammers out there? Yeah, mate, absolutely. You got to be ever so careful. So in our mentorship, in our one-to-one mentorship, we've got quite a lot of people who've done other mentorships, and often it's disappointing results. We've only got 5-star reviews with ours and really good results with people in there. I don't pay too much attention to what other people are saying and selling, but whenever I go on TikTok and I see what some Amazon people are saying, it is wacky, mate. You know, people saying you can start with £300 and be making 10k profit within a month or two. It's wacky what people are willing to say. It just doesn't work like that. We like to be the voice of reason in a crowd of chaos and uncertainty. You know, we're going to be one of those groups that tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. We're going to tell you how it actually works, what to expect, and how to do it properly, safely, so that you can hold your account long term and not have any issues. That's the mentality we have. We come live every single day, trying to give as much free value as possible. And if anyone decides to work with us, that's cool, but we're not the type of group to pressure. So no pressure there if anyone's out there. But we are registering for VAT soon, so the prices go up in 8 days. That's why they're increasing by 20%. So if you do want to work with us one-to-one, DM the word coach, talk to us about the mentorship. We work with you until you hit 50k revenue or double your revenue, and we added that guarantee so that you guys felt safe and reassured working with us. We're a whole team of people. We put a lot of effort into it. We love our mentorship community. They're really great. It's a really great group in there. Everyone's super helpful and provides support and advice to each other. Really great group. We've also got a VA recruitment business, a VA recruitment element to the business, and a prep center as well. Lloydie, I'm definitely an overanalyzer because I want to get it right. I get that. Yeah, I 100% get that. I like to watch a lot of content. I like to do a lot of research when I try stuff. The only reason I mention that in our content and the lives is because I speak to so many people who are like, oh yeah, mate, I'm going to get into Amazon soon. I've been thinking about it for the last year or two. I'm like, my guy, watch 2 to 4 hours of videos and then buy something and try and sell it. Like you should be doing it within a week, let alone within 2 years. So I know a lot of people get analysis paralysis by overthinking. That's why I try and encourage people to avoid that if you can. Got 3 viewers over there on YouTube. Welcome to the gang. Thank you for joining. Let me know if you've got any questions. Jonas Coach, yeah, give us a follow. Whereabouts are you from, Jonas? Are you Romanian? Because that is a Romanian name, right? Maybe it's more universal than just Romania. That's the only place I've seen it. Lloydie, JB's the same, yeah, absolutely. Seller Smart is a blessing and a curse. Seller Smart is a blessing and a curse. I'll take that as a compliment. Braxax, I recognize that name. You've been in the live before. Welcome. Thank you for joining again. Is it wise to jump on a listing? Amazon suppressed all the sellers. Yeah, so what you're talking about is a suppressed buy box. So the reason that happens is Amazon is deeming that the price is too expensive and it's suppressing the buy box. Does that mean you can't make sales? No, you absolutely can. And a lot of the times Amazon are talking out of their backside because you actually see when you get good at reading Keeper, you'll see that the product has been selling at a consistent price. Amazon have run out of stock, so then they suppress the buy box and they say it's because it's too expensive. It's just because they're not in it anymore. It's so cheeky. So yeah, you can absolutely sell. If you're selling a suppressed buy box listing, you just need to make sure that you're the lowest. You can sell matching the lowest price on the listing. So if the lowest price on the listing is £20, when you expand the sellers, can you sell it for £20 and make a profit? If you can, then yeah, absolutely sell it. It's absolutely fine. Remember as well, who is the customer getting shown sellers and the buy box is not just around the list and the price, it's also around geographical location. So if your stock is closer to a customer than someone else's stock, you're more likely to get the buy box as long as you're competitively priced. There's loads of different factors that go into it, but that's one of the key ones that people forget. So yeah, absolutely sell on suppressed. No, Lloydie was tagging me saying overanalyzing is a blessing and oh, I misread it, sorry. Yeah, I completely agree with that actually. I think I don't see analyzing as a bad thing, to be fair. I think you're just preparing, aren't you? You're going into it with an educated perspective rather than just diving in gung-ho, not knowing what you're doing. And I can actually give you a good example of how that can go wrong, right? So in the beginning with Amazon, I spent loads of time researching. I spent loads of time learning how it works. I did a deep dive. I was very familiar with Keeper and SellerAmp SaaS when I got into it. Whereas my mates, they just started selling without actually learning. And within about 2 months, they had so many IP violations because they didn't know how to read Keeper that they almost got their account banned within 2 to 3 months. So whilst their sales were ahead of me in the first 3 months, by the time we got to 3 to 6 months, I was miles ahead of them because of all the trouble they had. So I'm a big fan in learning. You should definitely learn, definitely figure out how to do it properly, but you should also just buy a product and give it a test. Make sure it's not an IP product. Use our free Discord community. Ask questions about brands in there. But yeah, absolutely, just dive straight in. Braxax, thank you. No problem at all. Thank you for joining. That made me laugh. I'm glad I made you laugh. I'm loving Stellar Smart so far. Oh, I love that comment. Thank you. I'm going to screenshot that so that when the haters join, I can remember your words and not cry myself to sleep. I appreciate you. Testimonial. There we go. Boom. Right, where do we go? I love Sean's little misreadings. Yeah, even with glasses, I'm blind. I am so blind, even with glasses. I really need to update my prescription. I do my best though. Knees grows. I like that, like knees over toes, but your knees grows. Do you teach first-time beginners? Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to work one-to-one with us, you do need at least 5K to invest. That's one of the biggest prerequisites. When we have a call with you about the mentorship, we'll get a feel for who you are. We'll see if we can help you. We only want to work with people that we can help. We'll see if we're a good fit for you as well. Like, are you a good fit for our community? Are you going to bring positive vibes in there? Are you going to be easy to work with? Are we going to be able to help you? And yeah, one of the prerequisites is you need at least 5K. If you are interested in working with us, we have a 50K guarantee. So we'll work with you until you hit 50K or double your revenue if you already sell. And if you don't have at least 5K to invest, do not stress. We've got loads of stuff for people at every level. We've got a free course that teaches you the fundamentals. We've got free resources. We've got a paid course that teaches you the advanced strategies. If that's the route you want to go down, we're actually going to change the offer there to make it a bit more accessible, I guess is the word. And yeah, we've got something for everyone. And we go live all the time offering free advice. So if you don't have the 5K to invest, do not worry. I'm happy to help. Stellar Smart to the moon. Yes, please. Lloydie, I've recently watched the Keeper vid and seems more complicated software. Can you reach out and initiate the convos before having 5K? Okay, so you've recently watched the Keeper vid and it seems more complicated software. So Keeper is one of the OG Amazon softwares. Keeper by far has the most data out of any software, and a lot of softwares actually use Keeper's API to get their information. So Keeper is very, very important. You need Keeper and SailRamp SaaS. It is tricky in the beginning, but if you keep up your practice with learning how it works, you'll get to a point where you know pretty much what's going on with a listing within 10 seconds of looking at it. Obviously, you need to do a little bit of deep research when you're deciding if you want to buy, but Keeper is really, really valuable for understanding if a product is safe to buy. It is a little bit tricky. It does require practice. We have a couple of videos on YouTube actually that teach you how to read a Keeper graph. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to record another video very soon to cover everything you need to analyze on a listing before you buy it. And yeah, I would very much recommend getting good at Keeper because there's stuff SailRamp SaaS can't tell you that Keeper can. That's why you need both. Lloydie, can you reach out and initiate the convos before having 5K? Yeah, absolutely. We'll jump on a call with anyone, give some advice, and girls are loud now. And yeah, we're more than happy to point you in the direction of where to help. We can't give. We used to give free like 15-minute call advice calls all the time. We can't really do that anymore because we're too busy. For like over a year, we were helping people for free, and it just wasn't viable for an entire team of people who have kids to do that too often. So we can absolutely help. We can point you in the right direction, and the free community is there for any questions as well. Definitely, you may as well, definitely, as you may be better suited for a VA rather than mentoring right now. Yeah, absolutely. And as I say, we've got loads of services. We've got a paid course, we've got the mentorship, VA recruitment, prep center, software, getting people to sign up to the wait list. I'm keen on doing that because the software, JB, you haven't even seen this yet, actually. The software is looking tasty. It's looking so good. Cal is a genius, and late last night developed another feature to the software that no one else has done. We're very excited about it. It's very good, and it's solving a big problem, let's say. So yeah, very excited to show that to people, but we're not going to show it publicly until it's ready to go out to a wider group of people. I need to watch the YouTube vids. Yeah, Lloydie, how dare you? Get on the well, not now. Stay on the TikTok live. But yeah, check out our YouTube. It's I hope it's got some helpful information on there. I haven't posted like consistent videos in a while because I've been doing the lives, but I am going to do more videos on YouTube because YouTube's the king, isn't it? I love YouTube. I love YouTube. Software is unreal, but by the way, prices go up 20% next Wednesday. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, prices go up in 8 days because we're registering for VAT. So if you want to get in on any of our services, do let us know. You can drop us a DM, schedule a call, whichever you want to do. Right, I'm going to... Okay. So yesterday on the live, I asked Sam, what do you think the starting process looks like for someone starting on £500, £1,000 or £5,000? I think Sam and I are in agreement. For the person A starting at £500, you just shouldn't bother. You shouldn't do Amazon with £500. You need at least 1,000, but more is better. You need to invest some money in ungating. So I wouldn't start Amazon with £500. I would start with 1,000 or more. If you have 500, if you only have 500, then eBay can be really good. Vinted can be good. You can sell some stuff around your house. You could sell old clothes. You could go to charity shops and try and find stuff that sells on eBay and sell it. There's just good options if you don't have at least £1,000, potentially even 2,000 these days. A lot of people will tell you can start on less, and you can. It's just a lot harder. And if you're going to start on less than £1,000, you need to focus on RA. You need to go to clearance sections and places, but you still need to spend money on ungating. So just bear that in mind. For £1,000, how it's going to look, you're going to get Keeper and Seller Amp. You're going to buy postage labels, and you're going to try and get free boxes. You're going to do some online arbitrage or retail arbitrage. So with retail arbitrage, exactly the same. You're going to go to clearance sections and try and find the highest ROI products that you can sell. Or on online arbitrage, you're going to just do standard sourcing, but you're going to look for products that have 40 to 50% ROI after you've got ungated in them. If you're starting with 5,000 plus, the process is almost exactly the same. The only difference is you have more money to pay for ungating. You have more money to buy a deep on stock. So if you find a lead that's really good, but it costs £50 per product, maybe you can buy 10 to 20 rather than just 5, like someone with less capital would. So the process is very similar. The only difference is with 5K, you are much more likely to have a better first 3 months than someone starting with 1K. You absolutely can start with 1K though. I don't want to discourage anyone who doesn't have £5,000. Going solo is 1 to 2K. You only need the 5K if you're looking for coaching and want to work with us or someone else, Is it polished or polished? Polished, I think. How much coaching? Yeah, so you need at least 5K to invest. We'll talk to you on the call about pricing. We'll tell you how it works. You get a one-to-one chat channel with Sam. He's the head coach in our mentorship. You get private calls with him, private one-to-one DM. You get group calls. Every single historically recorded group call you get access to. You get early access to the software. You get lifetime access to the course. And we'll work with you until you hit 50K revenue. But as I say, it's the options there. Prices going up in 8 days because we register for VAT. So if you are interested, now is a really good time to get involved. Suhail, welcome, mate. Do you do OA? Yes, absolutely. We do online arbitrage, Amazon to Amazon, EU A to A. I've done quite well personally with wholesale, but I haven't dabbled in it in a while. My wholesale experience right now is trying to get all of my previous suppliers. I'm trying to develop relationships with them slowly in the background so that we can add them into our software when it's ready and into the mentorship community. But yeah, OA, A to A. Sam, who's the head coach in our mentorship, he has a bit of a 50-50 split between OA and A to A, and that's what we teach, that's what we focus on. We think OA and A to A, in our opinion, is much more accessible and realistic for most people. Wholesale or PL is just an entirely different thing. If you want to learn PL, you need to become a marketer, which not a lot of people want to do that. And if you want to do wholesale, you need to have a lot more capital and be able to provide brands value if you want to do direct with them. So very different models. Well, wholesale has similarities, but wholesale is not the same as it used to be 3 years ago. Polished. I almost said Polish again. Polished. We're a UK company. We're based in the UK. We don't teach anything US based. The two markets are very different. The concepts and the fundamentals are the same, but they also operate with very big differences. So you just have to bear that in mind. And as I said to you, brother, you need at least 5K to invest in the mentorship. We don't talk publicly about the price, but we will tell you straight away on a call if you wanted to schedule a call with us. But we just don't want to, we don't want to get people into a call if they're expecting to be able to do everything with one-to-one coaching with an entire team of people for £500. Obviously, it doesn't work that way. But yeah, you need at least 5K to invest. By the way, we aren't benefiting at all from the 20% increase, so purely making you guys aware for your benefit. Yeah, the 20% price increase is entirely VAT, it's entirely HMRC taking their cut. I'd love to get an extra 20%, but no, it's just for taxes. So you will be able to claim that back if you're a VAT registered seller, so worry not. The 20% increase is reclaimable, especially if you work with us and you get to a point where you're VAT registered pretty quickly. Depends on how much capital you have to start with. Digital Del Boy, welcome to the live, mate. Do you use Quick Eater? So Quick Eater limited their affiliate partnerships, and we're one of the people that still work with them. We haven't been promoting them too heavily because we wanted to see how they would respond to some negative criticisms that they were getting recently. Some people were saying they were getting Section 3s that they couldn't get cleared. I've since chased it up. Quick Eater have data showing that they have 80 to 90% success rates with ungates. I personally would never use them for an ungate, but I would use them for brands I already sell. They have an 80 to 90% success rate. If you have the filter to select for, if you have the filter selected to only see marketplace invoices, then Keeper do provide as much information as possible to help you prove supply chain if Amazon ask. And I've seen if Amazon reject everything and give you headaches, you can take them through the mediation process and win. I know a few people who've done that and they've won their cases. So Quick Eater are doing literally everything they can to be compliant. They are following Amazon's compliance rules more than Amazon do. Amazon are just completely inconsistent and arbitrary even with their own rules. So yeah, I like Quick Eater. Cal spent like 45 grand on Quick Eater, I think, in the last 6 months. And if you want to get 100 off your first order with Quick Eater, you can sign up with the link in our bio, in our Discord, in our description. Digital Del Boy, very knowledgeable. Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for joining. I know I've definitely spoken to you a few times, right? You've been in these lives before. Yeah, it's a shame. Quick Eater, right? These kind of new wholesale marketplaces, like Quick Eater, Eni is another one. They are an unbelievably good solution to an industry problem. People want access to wholesalers, but finding suppliers has always been really hard. So these platforms, these platforms as a solution to a problem are amazing. The only issue is that Amazon is not making it easy for them, just because Amazon don't make it easy for anyone. Like, that's one of the reasons our free community is so valuable to you guys, because you're going to run into headaches selling on the platform, and we can help you with them, whereas seller support are just useless. They don't help at all. But yeah, Quick Eater, they're doing everything compliance-wise they can. Eni are doing everything they can compliance-wise. Amazon is just is a fickle creature. But luckily, there's laws and regulations and stuff like that. So even when Amazon isn't playing ball, you have small claims court as an option. You have mediation as an option. I've actually taken Amazon to small claims court before, and they just automatically accepted the case because the evidence was overwhelming. It was so insane what they were trying to say. But yeah, it's because it's such a behemoth company. It's so big. It's very hard to organize a company the size of Amazon. So they actually do a pretty good job. But they do a better job with customers than they do sellers. So if I ever got the chance to talk to Jeff Bezos, I would say, please invest more into seller support. Because if Amazon had the seller support that eBay has, Amazon would be insane. I mean, it already is insane, but eBay doesn't have the sales velocity Amazon does. So whilst I think eBay is a better platform in terms of seller support, you can't beat Amazon. Amazon's the king. It just wins every day, twice on Sundays. Okay, do you guys have any more questions? Who have we got on the live today? I haven't said hello to anyone. Miss Rooney, I recognize your name. Flipkart Finds, I recognize your name. How are you doing? Are you just lurking? Are you selling? Are you wanting to get started? Whereabouts are you at? I'm going to go to my trustworthy notes now. So, I'm not going to do that video. This one. Okay, so what does the first 30 days look like when you're an Amazon FBA seller as a beginner? I'm gonna stay a bit more beginner focused in this because I think we get a lot of beginner questions. But your first 30 days is gonna look a lot like studying, to be honest. It's gonna be a lot of research, a lot of learning how things work, a lot of educational videos. You're gonna have a whole laundry list of things that you need to cover, which is why I tell people to not get analysis paralysis and just buy a product and test and see that it works. Once you see that it works, the dopamine hit will have you hooked. But your first 30 days, you're going to learn Keeper, you're going to learn Seller Amp SaaS, you're going to need to start collecting data. That is really, really important. So we have loads of free downloads, including a free purchasing sheet that you need to download. What I want you to do is I want you to go into this with the headspace that you don't know anything, and that's okay. You're coming into a brand new. It's like starting a new job where it's really overwhelming in the first month because you have no idea how anything works, but you will eventually get used to it. It's the same with Amazon. You have no idea what brands sell. You have no idea what retailers are good. You have no idea what retailers provide good invoices. You have no idea what brands are IP risks. So coming into it with the mindset of I don't know and that's okay, let's figure it out, that's where you want to be. And I say that again because I speak to a lot of people who in the first month or two where they're struggling to find products, they say they think they're failures or they're failing. And man, I really can't stress enough. You're like, whatever you do in life, don't ever speak to yourself that way. Always have a positive internal monologue, even when you mess up. I can't stress that enough. Not really specifically Amazon related, but I just think in general, it's really important to remember that. If you're struggling, that just means there's a knowledge gap. You just need to figure it out. And that's why we're here. We can help you with that. The free community is there. There's other people. There's YouTube. There's GPT. ChatGPT is getting okay. ChatGPT is really good in general, really bad with Amazon advice, which is very strange. I'm guessing it's still that way because arbitrage is a niche within a niche. So maybe it hasn't had enough context yet to improve. But there's always things you can do to improve. And if you're struggling in the first 1 to 2 months, then just ask for help. You know, that's why networking is so valuable. That's why we love talking to you guys in the live calls and people in other communities. We talk to a lot of other community members, community owners. And you do find there are people out there who are willing to help you every step of the way. Not everyone has a scarcity mindset, and you want to find people who have that abundance mindset. I'm not going to respond to that. Okay, so what's a common myth with Amazon FBA versus the reality of selling? So common myth number one, it is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Absolutely not a get-rich-quick scheme. If you're someone who is looking to make 10K profit a month and you want to get into Amazon and you want to be making that within a few months, you need to start with a lot of capital. You need to start with a lot of cash to be able to afford to buy enough stock to get to that point. So it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Does that mean it's a bad model? No, it's an incredible model. You just need to reinvest over time. It's a long-term strategy rather than trying to chase something that's short term that probably doesn't exist anyway. I don't think get-rich-quick schemes, for the most part, I don't think they exist. I think people like the idea of easy, but then actually feel fulfilled when they're challenged and push through challenges. That's my belief anyway. Another myth is that it's saturated. It's not saturated at all. 3 years ago when I joined, it was the most peak virality that it can be on Google Trends, and I still was able to replace my salary and gross profit in the first year. And that was peak Google Trends. Right now it's out of fashion. You know, not as many people are doing it. It's gotten harder because of compliance. So people are giving up really easily. And that means the opportunity, like loads of listings are way less competitive than they used to be. So opportunity wise, now is actually better than when I started 3 years ago, in my opinion, as long as you follow the rules and you can get through the first 3 months. Myth number 3 is you can't buy from Amazon and sell on Amazon. That is untrue. It's a myth. We have evidence and we can prove to you that it is allowed. I can actually show you screenshots and I can show you evidence proving that it's okay. You just have to make sure that you're not buying the same stock with the same email as your seller account. Because if the email address in your buying account and selling account matches, if you have any issues on your buying account, that will transfer to issues on your seller account. That's why we tell you to split. So Amazon themselves, when you get authenticity complaints, when you get IP violations, when you get a Section 3, one of the options to get it removed without it hurting your account health is to provide an Amazon order ID or an Amazon invoice. So Amazon themselves accept their documentation. Obviously they would. They know they're buying legitimate stock. So that's a really big myth. Myth number 4. What's one I hear all the time? Myth number 4, it's impossible to get started as a new seller in 2026 because I'm gated and everything. Here's the plot twist for you if you think that way. It was the exact same when I started in 2023. You are a brand new seller on the largest marketplace in the world with the highest consumer trust in the world. So customers around the world trust Amazon above any other marketplace, more than any other marketplace. They have compliance that they follow, they have rules that they follow in order to make sure that their customers are safe. When you're a brand new seller, of course you're restricted in loads of brands because Amazon has no idea who you are. They don't know if you're selling authentic stock. So in the first 3 months, you're going to need to get ungates. You're going to need to auto ungate. You're going to need to pay for some ungates. You're going to need to get to the first 1 to 200 units of sales, over 1,000 revenue, and you're going to need to build up credibility on your account so that Amazon can trust you. Once you get past that point, I say this all the time, you will get to a point where you have more leads than you do cash, and that's where the problems in the game change. But they become, it's a better problem to have, isn't it? Someone, welcome to the live. I've just hit 204 AHR and was ungated lots of large brands but struggling to source. Any tips? Okay, really good job getting your account health to 204. Well done. You just got auto ungated in loads of brands. That's also really good. Guys, someone has just proven my point that I was just saying. That's backup. That's backup evidence to what I was just saying. You're struggling to source. Okay, so you need Keeper and SellerAmp SaaS. On SellerAmp SaaS, you're going to find sellers that have between 0 and 400 reviews. You're going to copy their seller ID and keep track of it in a spreadsheet. So we have a purchase tracking sheet. You can add a new tab and you can keep track of seller IDs in there. You're going to go through the brands on SellerAmp's website, go through that seller, go through their brands and try and figure out where they're buying their stock from. Try and figure out where they're buying it from, what times a year they might be buying it, try and set up trackers. And alongside that, you're going to be creating an email address specifically for email newsletter sourcing. You're going to go to major retailers and you're going to sign up to their email newsletters. Eventually, you're going to get emails coming into that mailbox. You only want to check ones that in the subject will say a percentage discount or a pound discount, and you want to go to their websites with the discount codes they send you and go through the brand, brand by brand in the discount section. That's a really good sourcing strategy alongside storefront sourcing. Those are the two that I prefer the most myself. You can do Keeper deals for Amazon to Amazon, but it depends on how much cash you have. And if you do if you do Amazon to Amazon in the beginning, maybe just stick to products that sell a bit faster. When I do Amazon to Amazon, I like products that sell 50 times a month. Some people will sell anything that sells, which is fine. Sometimes the slower sellers can be ignored by people actually, so it can be a benefit there. But Amazon to Amazon, just remember you might need to hold your stock for a couple of months sometimes if you do that. Not all the time, just sometimes. I was against networking for so long. I was so wrong. Yeah. Networking is, regardless of what business you do, in my opinion, networking is one of the strongest things because you don't know what you don't know. And when you see other people's perspectives, when you find people that love sharing, it's very valuable. It's very valuable. Seller Smart started because Cal helped me with a coding issue. He helped me with something, so that's how I knew Cal. Reese reached out to me because he wanted to talk, and we had an amazing first call. Reese and I got along like peas and carrots straight away. I introduced us all to Cal, and Seller Smart is history, and that only came from networking. So definitely recommend that. Leave, made my first sale today. Very motivating. That is awesome, Leave. Well done. I'm going to screenshot that message because I remember you talking about just getting started and you've just made me very happy. Leave, do you get what I'm saying when I say... So when I say in these live calls, when people get their first sale, it proves the concept. You've probably got a hit of dopamine and now you can see how this works, right? Tell me if I'm wrong, by the way, but that's how it felt to me. It was very, very motivating, very proving that it actually works. Someone, I think you repeated your message a couple of times, either that or the TikTok chat did, but I answered before. JB 30k, yeah, it's the I'll show you why, JB. I'll show you why. I'm gonna get one for you guys as well. Leave, if Amazon says they've got my units but it still says out of stock on my inventory, should I be worried? No, so it might just be an FC processing. It might have been that a fulfillment center has it, but it hasn't gone live yet. Maybe they haven't prepped your stock, or maybe they're sending it to another fulfillment center. So no, don't stress. Okay, cool. Yeah, don't stress. Just be patient. If you sent your stock and it's still not live within about a week, you can pursue it, you can look into it, but you can actually see in the shipping details what's going on. You can see in the inventory what's going on. It will have a code telling you what's happening with it. And ChatGPT, if you send a screenshot to GPT, it will explain what that means. Or you can ask in here, of course. Someone, I've got about 60k cash, 3k revenue. I'm honestly just struggling to deploy funds into stock. Someone, you've been in this live before, right? I've definitely spoken to you before. I've just dropped you a follow. Do you want to talk to us about our one-to-one mentorship? We can talk about coaching with you, because if you've got that level of cash, you can do really well. You just need to get good at sourcing. Sometimes it's good to have a hand to hold you through the process. Sometimes it's good for someone to show you how. I can point you in a direction if you don't want to go the one-to-one route, but we can absolutely help you if you want to have a chat with us. And it's a good time to get into it because the prices go up because of VAT soon. But yeah, we absolutely can help. If you're struggling to spend cash, that's the biggest thing. There's a few directions I could point you in, but let's do it over DMs. Let's do it privately. I don't want to give away too much. Because, if I tell you to do something, anyone else in here can just copy. So, ER resales, thank you for the follow. Thank you for joining. You Leave, you got one, and then a couple of hours later got your second sale. That's really awesome. Yeah, really good to know. There's a guy in our community who I've not seen lately. I need to drop him a message and make sure he's doing okay. I was back and forthing with him all over December on how to get his first sales. He got a product that I recommended he get. I went through the listing with him. He got his product. It was too late to send it to Amazon for Christmas, so I told him to sell at FBM. Within 4 or 5 days, sold out the whole stock, and yeah, loved it. It was a very eye-opening experience for him to see that it actually worked. That was James. Again, I'm going to have to message him. But I'm really glad you experienced that, because now you've experienced it, hopefully that means you'll dedicate some time and money into it and really develop it. Cool. Someone, I've given you a follow, or Patrick, I should say. I've given you a follow, and someone in the chat will message you back. It's either going to be Gemma in the chat messaging, but if you want to have a call with me, Patrick, or someone, just drop me a message and let me know. Leave, yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly. When I sold my first product, my partner and I bought a wholesale lead that we thought was going to profit £2,000. Turns out we bought assorted plushies instead of specific ones. We still made £500 on that order. Even though we messed up, it was still amazing. We realized, we were like, okay, speak of the devil, I just realized, Rosita, you're in here. Thank you for joining. Yeah, even though we messed up and we made a mistake, we still made money, and we, more importantly, proved that it worked. Once we proved that it worked, we were like, okay, let's really figure this out, because obviously if this many people are doing it, it must be good. And 60% of the items sold on Amazon are from third-party sellers. So just goes to show how big it is for third-party sellers. Braxax, can one do FBA and FBM at the same time? I love your grammar. You're very well written. Can one do FBA and FBM at the same time? Yes, absolutely. So when you're on a listing, sometimes you'll notice that a seller on the listing will be on there twice, and that's because one will be FBA and one will be FBM. That's absolutely fine. You can. I've always gone the route of, if I'm going to sell a product, I'm going to send it either through FBA or FBM rather than both, but you can do both. So if I think, okay, I've got a really good example of a real world time that you might do FBM instead of FBA, which, I was quite surprised more people don't do this. If you're doing Amazon to Amazon and it's Prime Day and you're spending a lot of money on stock, if you think about it, if you get your stock within a day and you list it as FBM and you start making sales straight away, you're going to sell your stock faster than all the other people doing A to A who are buying it and sending it into FBA. So to me, that's a really good time to do FBM. If you think that the competition on the listing is going to increase and you want to get your sales in before other people join, that's where FBM can be really great. If you're brand new and a beginner, I wouldn't recommend FBM too much. I would recommend doing FBA, but that's only because there's a lot of different ways that it can go wrong. You need to make sure that your invoicing is set up. You need to make sure your shipping settings are correct. You need to make sure that you dispatch the product on time, get it to the customer on time, because what is it? Your something defect rate. I haven't looked at it in a while. It's not your invoice defect rate is one that I'm thinking of, but there's a KPI. There's a stat in Amazon that if you mess up your FBM orders, it can be quite an annoying thing to get off. It takes like 3 months to get off. So if you're a brand new seller, just go for FBA most of the time. Leave, do you offer any services that help with sourcing specifically, as I'm already going through a mentorship, but I feel I can benefit more from further networking? Yeah, so we've got the one-to-one mentoring, as you know, that's led by Sam, 50K guarantee, incredible, only have 5-star reviews from that so far. Software, so we have a software coming out. It's being tested by an alpha group at the moment. More and more people are being added into it. If you sign up to the wait list, you get access to the beta for free when it goes out into beta, and the software is really, really good. It has admin automations and sourcing, so definitely recommend signing up to the wait list on that one. And what else do we got? We've got a paid course that you can check out, but we are going to be changing the offer of that soon to be more accessible to people. So it just depends on the route you want to go. I much prefer recommending the mentorship than the course, just because people get better results because they're working one-to-one with us. I think 90% of people who purchase courses never actually watch the videos, which is quite a surprising stat that we learned. But yeah, it's strange. And I'm not even judging people who do that. I paid like $4,000 to become a qualified PT, and I never actually did it years ago, back when I used to have issues with procrastination. But yeah, 90% of people don't actually go through the courses they buy, which is quite interesting. Braxax, can you sell anything as FBA, or does that need ungating too? Thank you for the replies, by the way. No problem at all. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so you can sell anything FBA as long as you're allowed to sell it. There are some products that are in a category called meltable. So during a certain time of year, when it's hot during summer, you're not allowed to send meltable products into FBA, but you can still sell them FBM. So that would be the only thing I say you can't really sell at FBA. So stuff that's like really heavy, stuff that's really heavy or large, it might be better to do that FBM, because it's going to be very expensive to ship to FBA, because you're going to have to pay to get it shipped in, and then you're going to have to pay Amazon to do it. So anything that's really large, really heavy or meltable, you would have to more than likely do FBM. But yeah, mostly speaking, you can do anything FBA. FBA is so good. Again, I'm going to sound like a boomer, but the idea of operating a 7-figure business where you don't ever actually have to touch the stock, that just wasn't a thing when I was in my 20s. So I think it's insane that we live in a world where we can do this. Random people from their houses can have a 7-figure business selling on Amazon. It's wild. I see, thanks. No problem at all. How do I get JOC16? How do I get mentored by you, and are you UK based? Yeah, we're absolutely UK based. You can probably tell by my very posh English accent that is definitely not posh, but apparently I sound posh to everyone who isn't from the UK. We're based in the UK. We're kind of scattered about, actually. The whole team is a bit scattered around the UK. You can get one-to-one coaching from us if you schedule a call or message us in the DMs. I will give you a follow. You need at least 5K to invest. And in the call, we'll talk to you about pricing. We'll talk to you about what's offered. We have a 50K guarantee. So if you do want to work with us, we have a guarantee that we'll work with you until you hit that revenue. You get one-to-one calls with Sam. You get group calls with the whole community. You get access to every single historically live recorded call. You get lifetime access to the course. You get 3 months access for free to our software when it's released. And we have loads of strategies in there, right? So we as a team collectively built our mentorship together, and we have loads of strategies that we've not seen anyone else teach because we developed them. And some of them can make you an extra 1 to 2K profit just passively through rewards, cashback and rewards. So it's really good. It's a really good investment. You can definitely get a very high return on your investment with it. But as I say, you need at least 5K to invest. We've got loads of services for people who don't have that kind of cash though. So if you don't have that amount of money to invest, don't stress. We've got you covered on other things as well. Braxax, you mean FBM? Sorry, can I sell anything as FBM? Can you sell anything as FBM? Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything that you couldn't. I've got to be honest, I'm going to look into that. I'm not sure. I've never had any issues selling any product I've ever sold. Maybe there's restrictions on products. I know there's, now that I'm thinking about it, I know there's some products that you can't send as FBA outside of Meltable as well, but you can do FBM. But yeah, I've never had any restrictions with FBM, and I like it quite a lot. We've got a really big seller in our community. We've got a free Discord community link in the bio if you want to join. It's got over 1,300 members. We've got a really big seller in that community, really amazing dude. He does an absolute ton of FBM. He does mad FBM sales, but you typically see it with bigger sellers. Bigger sellers tend to do more FBM than FBA. When you're doing FBA in the beginning, you need to be very protective of your reviews. That's why I think FBA is better for most beginners. Because if you get a negative review as an FBA seller, Amazon take responsibility for it and they strike it off your account. But if you get a negative review as an FBM seller, it's a lot harder to get that removed. And I will say, like, Amazon is filled with a lot of scammers. And I mean that in terms of customers. Customers know that they can return anything on Amazon. So when you do FBM, you will notice that there are a lot of scamming attempts. But there's things we teach in our mentorship on how to reduce impact of that. That's actually quite effective. But that's what, you know, I'll give you guys as much info as I can. I'm more than happy to give free advice. But there's a few select things that we only give to our mentorship lot, and that's because they've invested to work with us. How do you know if a product is eligible for FBA if you aren't ungated yet? Yeah, that's a good question. So SellerAmp SaaS is going to tell you the requirements to products. Amazon themselves, when you add the ASIN into your inventory, you should never be buying stock before you add it into your inventory because you're going to see the prerequisites. You know, most stuff is going to be FBA eligible unless it's meltable and stuff like that. But yeah, just try and add it into your inventory. It will likely give you some warnings. SellerAmp SaaS has warning tags. So if a product is meltable, it will say M and it will warn you that, hey, this is a meltable product. Yeah, those are the things you have to look out for. Always add the inventory. I can't stress that enough. One of the biggest beginner mistakes in Amazon FBA is people buy stock and then try to add it to their inventory and they learn they're gated or it's hard gated and they can't sell it. They're not an authorized seller. So you always have to add your ASINs first and then buy it. So there's no ungating in FBM. No, you absolutely still have to ungate. Ungating is removing a restriction from you selling the brand. How you sell the brand is a different thing. So FBA and FBM is how you sell the brand, but ungating is can you sell the brand? That's where that comes in. And that's why you need to check. That's another reason you need to check the prerequisites on a product because some of them are 10 times units, other ones are 100 times units. You have to be sure which ones you choose. Leave. Usually I'm not able to add inventory without being ungated. Yeah, so when you go through, so in our free Discord community, we have an auto ungate checklist, which has over 1,000 products. I think it's 1,300 products. And you add the ASINs and you try and ungate them, but you don't add them into your inventory. You just see if you go through the ungate process to ungate. The more ungated you are in some brands, the more you become ungated in others. It's like a trust system. So when you add the ACE into your inventory, if you're not allowed to add it because you need to ungate it, then you need to buy an ungate. But you also should make sure that it's not a hard gated brand, meaning it's closed off to authorized sellers only. And the only way you can learn that is by developing data over time, asking on our free Discord community. If I go into our Discord community and I say, hey guys, can I sell Jellycat? Someone in there is going to tell you, yes, you can. No, you can't. You can, but it's a 100 unit ungate. You know, the people in the community are really, really helpful with this kind of thing, because Amazon doesn't make hard gating easy to understand, but they do actually tell you a lot of the times now if you can sell it or not. So you just have to add it. I hope that makes sense. Sorry if I wasn't very clear with that. Let me know if that made sense. Eggless Edit, what a good name. For non-VAT business, does Amazon charge tax on fees? Yes. Amazon were very cheeky monkeys, and they used to do profit shifting by Amazon FBA services used to go to Luxembourg, which meant they didn't have to charge sellers VAT on the service. The government came in and said, naughty, naughty, bonk, you have to do this through the UK. So now even non-VAT registered sellers have to pay VAT on stuff. But if you're VAT registered, you get to claim it back. Non-VAT registered sellers still make more money on Amazon than VAT registered sellers. So when you get to VAT reg settings, it does make it harder, but it's not... You know, it used to be non-VAT sellers would make this much and VAT would make this much, but now the margins have been brought closer ever since fees on FBA services. So yeah, don't stress about VAT registration. When you get to that point, when you get to that 90K, you'd like to hope that by that point you are quite good at it by then. You know, by 90,000 you should have a really good database, you should have really good working knowledge. So VAT is just part of the process that everyone goes through. And if anything, you're more of you're a more serious seller if you're VAT registered, as in like you're a more serious business owner if you've gone to VAT registration. So don't fear it, it's just part of the journey. But obviously enjoy the process before you get there, because you're going to be making more money. Leave, think it makes sense, because what I've been doing is I check historical sellers to see if any FBA ones. Yeah, that's the classic one. So when you're on a listing, the standard checklist I go through is how many sales per month does the product have, how many sellers are competitively priced, so at buy box price. So if there's like 20 sellers on the listing, but only 10 are at buy box price, those 10 are your competition. How many FBA sellers are on the listing or historically have been on the listing. If there's FBA sellers, that's a really good sign it's an arbitrageable product, especially if the FBA sellers have less than 400 reviews. What else is there? Is it a variation? And if it is a variation, how many units is that specific variation selling that you want to sell in comparison to the others? If you go to Keeper and you go through the entire history on the listing, is there any signs of IP violations? So if there's flatline drop-offs on the off account, is that an indication that the brand has issued IPs? And has the brand ever been selling on the listing? Because if the brand has ever sold on the listing historically, or if they're on it now, that's a risk. I wouldn't sell on that myself. What else is there? Then you got your seller amp tag. So is it oversized? Is it meltable? SAS will warn you that products have IP violations, but it's not always correct. The key one I always talk about is HP. Seller amp SAS says don't sell HP because it's an IP risk, but I sell HP all the time and it's always fine. That's one thing that you can do to figure that out actually. If a brand is an IP risk, is it just one listing on the brand or is it the whole brand? Because sometimes the brand is really protective about a listing, but then if you check the other listings, it's perfectly okay to sell them. And you find that out by learning how to read Keeper. Learning how to read a Keeper graph is very, very important. Definitely recommend doing that. Flipkart Finds, welcome to the live. I see you in here. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you coming in. Guys, I've been live for an hour. I haven't actually eaten lunch yet and I'm starving. So if you've got any questions, let me know. Oh, mate, I didn't answer your question over here. Kemip, hey, Sean, hope you're doing well. How's it going? Were you able to get your Amazon account back? Yes, mate. So, so context to everyone out there was a Section 3 ban wave recently. Loads of people got Section 3s. I was one of them. I bought it directly from the brand, so it's no stress. I'm still in the process of getting the Section 3 removed, but it's not because of Amazon, it's because of me. I'm so busy with SellerSmart, I just haven't been actioning it. I really need to do that. I have all the information. I had to wait for the brand to provide me invoices, which took ages. So in the next couple of days, I'll be clearing that Section 3. Really, really important that you keep track of your invoices, you buy from legitimate sources. Don't buy from China and try and resell on an arbitrage listing. As long as you're following the rules, you'll always be safe. You're always going to be safe selling on the platform if you follow rules. And if you have any account health issues, we have an account recovery expert in our team, and he can absolutely help. So don't stress. As long as you're following the rules, you will be safe selling on Amazon. Mate, I don't know if you're still in the call. You probably asked that question ages ago, and I didn't notice. I'm very sorry. Thank you for the question and for joining. Oh man, talking this much over an hour is your throat goes dry. All right, what else we got? So I did common myths. What's next? I think I've done a full beginner checklist. Don't need to do that one. What happens after you buy a product? I've already done that. Inside a prep center, day in the life. Can't really describe that. Guys, we do have, I'm just going through the list of talking topics that I should go over, but just want to remind you that we are registering for VAT. So our prices go up at the end of this month by 20%. So in 8 days. If you want to sign up to our prep center, if you want to hire a VA from us, if you want to sign up to our software, if you want to get one-to-one mentoring, now is really the best time before the price increase. But the price increase is only from taxes. It's not, we don't benefit from the price increase, unfortunately. And if you VAT register, then you can claim it back. Pardon me. I've already covered what starting with 500, 1,000, 5,000 is like. Okay, so let's talk about when most sellers plateau. So a plateau can happen when you're doing 20K a month. It can happen when you're in your first 3 months. Plateaus happen to sellers at every level. The one that I see the most is people in the first 3 months who are coming in with no understanding of how Amazon works. They typically find it really hard to source products. And that's especially true in Q1. So during February, loads of people started at Amazon. February is by far the hardest month in FBA. Even the biggest experienced sellers struggle to find leads in February and Q1 because it's just, everyone's broke after Christmas. Everyone's spent their money. Everyone's used their gift cards that they got over Christmas in January sales. So February is just a very quiet month for e-commerce in general. But if you're in your first 3 months and you're hitting a plateau, it's not even a plateau, is it? In the first 3 months, you're just learning. But yeah, don't give up. Just be consistent. The amount of people I've spoken to, it must be hundreds at this point, who were really struggling in the beginning. They were persistent and kept grinding away. And then they got to a point where they were doing really, really well. And now they're replacing their salary with Amazon while still working their full-time job. So income-wise, they're doing really well. So you just have to stick with it. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not super easy. It does come with complications and trickiness, but that's where we can help. And if you can have grit and determination, you'll do very well. Everyone will tell you who is successful in business that grit determines the winner. People who can outlive other people, as in in terms of not giving up, those are the ones who do really well. Okay, guys, right. I haven't eaten yet, so I'm going to bounce. It was a really fun live. Thank you for joining. I appreciate your time today. Join the free Discord that you can get to, link in the bio. I'm going to go live again tomorrow. I go live every single day. I might have a guest tomorrow, actually. I might go live with Sam again. Thank you ever so much for joining. Drop us a follow. Have a really good day. And best of luck with Amazon. Let's start making some money with it, shall we? Get out of these full-time jobs that none of us want to be in anymore. Right, guys. Have a good day. See you later.